Hello there. Thanks again for joining me for another short reading from my book, Prejudential, Black America and the Presidents. If you look below the video, you can see where you can buy the book. We are at chapter 9. William Henry Harrison, who was president for a very short period of time in 1841. He served the shortest term in office. He died just 31 days after being inaugurated. He spoke for a long time. It was pouring rain on his inauguration day. He spoke for too long. He caught pneumonia and was dead a month later. So how do we talk about this president whose term was for such a short period of time? We talk about what he did before he was president. He was a very key figure in expanding the United States into what was then the northwestern part of the country in Indiana. And he was originally a Virginian, son of a slaveholding farmer. His father was amongst the signers of the Declaration of Independence. In the early 1800s, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and parts of Minnesota constituted the western frontier. So it was called the Northwest. And there he earned his reputation as an army officer fighting the Indian tribes in the region, Tecumseh and the Shawnee people. And he was a signatory of a treaty in 1795, the Treaty of Greenville, which forced Indians to cede their lands to the U.S. He was appointed governor of the Indiana Territory, where he tried to legalize slavery. It was very clear. There was an Article 6 in the ordinance that brought the territory into being, which made clear there should be no slavery there. But he tried twice, not once, but twice. But he failed because there were more non-slave holding than slave holding people in Indiana. He also attempted to deny legal rights to non-white people there. A law in 1803 denied, quote, Negroes, mulattoes, and Indians, unquote, the right to testify against whites in court. He passed a law which allowed those who were already slaveholders to bring enslaved people in to the state. He fought against Tecumseh, as I said. The Battle of Tippecanoe. His campaign slogan was Tippecanoe and Tyler too, Tyler being his running mate who succeeded him very quickly. He was a slaveholder his entire life and was said to have fathered children with one of the women he owned, and one of their descendants was said to be Walter White, who became chairman of the NAACP many years later. It's very interesting. When he ran for a congressional seat in Ohio after he was governor of Indiana, and it was a free soil state, that is to say, one that did not want slavery. And at the time, he claimed to be an abolitionist. But when he ran for president 20 years later, he backtracked on his statement, and he said that he was no abolitionist at all. So we can see these early presidents, and just as those in later decades, were more successful when they were outspoken against the human rights of Black people. So that is our story of Harrison. William Henry Harrison, the man who was in office for the shortest period of time in history. As I said before, like the video, look below the video, and you can see where to buy the book, Prejudential, Black America and the Presidents. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again.